The energy company behind the controversial Keystone Pipeline says that the long-delayed project will be delayed even longer now. The projected start date, late 2015, as it awaits approval from the Obama administration. It would carry almost 1 million barrels of oil a day from Alberta to the Gulf Coast, but it's a highly polarizing project. Our chief environmental affairs correspondent, Ann Thompson, traveled north of the border to see firsthand what the fight is all about.
700 miles north of the U.S.-Canadian border is a place called the Oil Sands. It's at the heart of the controversy over the proposed Keystone Pipeline, which would help Canada send heavy crude from landlocked Alberta to the Gulf Coast. While the project is expected to provide 3,900 construction jobs in the U.S., critics say it comes at a terrible cost.
This is a toxic, dirty, messy process.
Getting that oil out of the ground produces 17% more global warming gases than conventional methods, according to the State Department.
You can see the oil in the sand. So this is how the oil occurs naturally.
No gushers here. At Shell's Jack Pine mine, they dig for oil 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. 28 trucks, each burning 45 gallons of diesel fuel an hour.
This dump truck is 2 stories high. When fully loaded, it weighs almost 1.4 million pounds. That's heavier than a 747 airplane. And the tire alone, 10,500 pounds.
Hot water is used to separate the oil from the sand, which creates ponds of waste that can be toxic to wildlife. Shell recycles the water from those ponds and plans to use the sand to refill the mine. But producing oil here is adding carbon to the atmosphere at a time when the world is trying to cut emissions.
Is this a step in the wrong direction?
I think for the foreseeable future, we're going to need fossil fuels. We have an entire world economy that's based on fossil fuels.
A company called Cenovus is getting the oil another way. Drilling. They flew us in to show us how. Underground, the oil is solid, so steam is injected into the ground to melt it from the earth. There's less land to clear and no giant trucks. But making steam means burning natural gas, and that means more carbon dioxide. Cenovus and Shell's processes are below the industry average for emissions, but still higher than conventional methods.
With today's technology, we will not get emissions down to zero. Can we continue to decrease them? I think that's very possible, and that's something that we work on.
But Canada plans to more than double production here, and getting all that crude ready for transport in pipelines like Keystone produces even more emissions. Yet another reason why environmentalists are so upset.
You cannot reduce greenhouse gas emissions at the same time that you're expanding development in one of the most carbon-intensive, dirty fuel sources on the planet.
Canada's oil sands, fueling riches and controversy on both sides of the border. Ann Thompson, NBC News, Fort McMurray, Canada.